Welcome back to another jaw-droppingly mediocre episode of the Hardcast. I'm your host, Chris, and tonight I'm joined by Steven.
Code Geass, the greatest story ever told.
Victor.
Seriously.
And Eddie.
Yo, it's a me!
Alright, so I'll just let everyone know this is probably our second time trying to record this because obviously the gods up above don't want us to do this without Eddie because Eddie wasn't available the first time. So.
Yahoo!
We're going to try again and see if this works out. But anyway, the subject of tonight's discussion is the six-part anime OVA based off of the manga by Kazushi Hagiwara that goes by the name of Bastard. Going off the Wikipedia page, which is, incredibly reliable.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Kazushi Hagiwara is supposedly an enthusiastic fan of heavy metal and Dungeons & Dragons, and this definitely shows in Bastard, as a lot of the cities and magic spells are named after heavy metal bands.
Yep.
And, basically for all those listeners out there who are not familiar with either the manga or the OVA for this series, I'll go ahead and give you guys a quick synopsis or rundown of the story, without giving away too many spoilers, because we don't like to do that.
Yeah, make it quick.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. Basically, Bastard is about the awakening of Dark Schneider, one of, if not the most powerful sorcerers to have ever lived. In the time that Dark Schneider's been gone, which is about 15 years, four other have been gone.
That's laughing at it.
I know, that's why I said it. Four other very powerful sorcerers, known as the Four Lords of Havoc, have been trying to resurrect the god of destruction, Anthrasax. Get it? Anthrasax. Who once resurrected will basically destroy the world. With the awakening of Dark Schneider, this kind of throws a big fat monkey wrench into the plans of the Four Lords of Havoc, since Dark Schneider kind of has plans of his own, which are basically to take over the world and have every woman for himself. Alright, well, I'm going to hand it off to Steven right now, and he's going to give his thoughts and views on Bastard. So take it away, Steven.
Steven, take it away.
And this title was definitely a bastard.
Yes,
say that
two
right
exclamation points.
Yeah, and it needed an umlaut. Go ahead.
Swing!
This title definitely excelled in the crude humor part of it, alright? The things that go down in this title, for being six episodes long, I mean, there's no reason to skip it. There's no reason at all. I mean, it's quick, it's sweet, and it's brilliant. Like, the entire 6 episodes is really something to look at. The crude humor in here is where it shined the most. I mean, there were scenes where you would have slime, clothes eating slime. It would just eat the clothes.
How convenient
nothing else.
for perverts.
How convenient, right? I know.
I'm going to put that shit in a water bottle and dump it on girls during wet t-shirt contests. Go ahead.
Yes.
And that's when you get kicked out of the club. But go ahead.
I'll just tell them my name's Eddie.
Wow, disrespect. But the characters in this title, we'd have Dark Schneider himself, which was also, mixed in with Luce, the little boy, which is his alter ego, right? They're mixed in one body, but
total opposite personalities.
Opposite person. I mean, Dark Schneider's your cynical bastard. He's this maniacal, get all the babes in the world just for
No,
him.
you had it right. You mixed cynical with maniacal. You had cyniacal. It was going back. Go ahead.
I know. He was like this
The Hardcast. We make up words. Go ahead.
this badass character where nothing could stop him. You can't kill him. You can't do whatever at all. I mean, nothing works to this guy. He plays by his own rules, and he makes sure everyone understands where he's coming from. Where you'd have Luce, this soft kid, he's the nicest guy in the world and would never harm a fly, right? In the very beginning, like, I'll just tell you this, he's seen washing Yoko's underwear, the main female lead. He's seen washing...
Go ahead.
That's how like nice he is. I mean, he's like not washing her underwear. She gets upset, and he ends up washing like the whole basket full of underwear. I mean, this guy's really the softest kid in the world. But then you have the alter ego Dark Schneider, who's like this maniacal bastard. So it's definitely that interplay on characters is very, very good, very, very good. Yoko herself, she didn't get much time for much character development. I wish she had more,
But she is a very important part of the story, though.
Extremely important, and is Dark Schneider's driving force. I mean, that's what made him tick. Many times during the title where she would get in trouble and Dark Schneider would just lose it. He's just like, "Don't touch my girl, man. Whatever you do, don't touch my. You can kill me, you can do whatever. Don't touch my girl." He would flip the fuck out whenever she got in trouble. I mean, he's supposed to be summoned whenever a virgin gives him a kiss, but you see him like transforming in the middle of nowhere to protect his girl. So it's obviously a big deal. Don't touch her. Like, seriously, that's rule number 1. Don't touch his girl.
Yeah, seriously.
Seriously. Oh man, but the action into this title
The action is over the top. I love it.
Over the top explosions like you wouldn't believe. I mean, landscapes being completely engulfed in
Even though it's old school, like 1992, it still looks pretty good. The action
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, and I can say that with my standard of anime. I still love the hell out of this title. I laughed so.
Yeah, you only watch like the brand new shit.
No, I enjoyed the hell out of this title. I mean, the explosions and the spells, everything would just come at you, and like the nuclear it's all on this gigantic cataclysm.
Whoa, did you get to watch like a 3D version? Everything was coming at you?
What version were you watching?
It was cataclysmic, man. I mean, the explosions
Cataclysmic.
were gigantic. They were really big. The
Gigantic.
incantations were all authentic. I mean, these words, you're like, what the hell is he saying? And then he pulls off this gigantic spell. You're like, oh, man, it's all over. You know you're already done, or if you can't dodge it, it's over. And the combat was really crazy. It was really insane. You'd have the normal, like the three holy swords that
It was insanical. You get that? Insane and radical at the
Yeah,
same
And besides all those, you'd have this overall story and the ecchi, crude humor. The story itself was really decent. For 6 episodes, I mean, this is a manga title, period. Bar none. This is a manga title. This anime was a treat for the fans to see their story come to life. That's it in a nutshell. But for 6 episodes, it wasn't complete.
And by manga, we mean like the comic. We don't mean the company manga. Go ahead.
Right. Definitely. Thanks for clearing that up. Where we'd have... It's completely manga based, but for the anime, it was really good. They just left it a little open ended in the end, where the story can continue. It can continue for another 100 episodes if need be, but they left it like wide open after 6. I mean, not even like 12 or 13, which is like the normal standard length for an anime. But this was an OVA, so you didn't expect much in that department.
Well, talk a little bit about the characters. Like the four Lords of Havoc.
Yeah, with them. I talked about Snyder, Yoko, them. You got the princess, you've got the four lords, you got Ninja Master Gaara.
Yeah,
was definitely
he's a badass.
One of the better of the four lords of Havoc. He was one of the personal favorites of mine. This guy was a gangster, man.
What about you, Eddie? You like Ninja Master Gaara?
I got to admit, hands on, he was probably the best in my personal opinion. I mean, he was just when I first seen him, I was just like,
he comes close.
Yeah,
like for me,
yeah.
Dark Schneider and him are like neck and neck. But
that's what I said when I first seen him. I'm like, oh, you can tell this guy's gonna be a badass. And watching it through the anime, it was just kicked ass, man. So I'd have to agree.
Especially that last episode, man. He steals it.
Yeah,
Yeah, last episode.
yeah. We don't want to spoil it, but
No. We're basically saying make sure you watch that last episode. That's all we're doing.
yeah, it's a
in
must.
particular, if you skip the whole thing, watch the last episode.
Hey, don't skip
No,
any.
no.
Skip anything, yeah, of course.
Only 6
Leave things
episodes.
unfinished.
God.
Don't think left things on.
That kind of defeats the purpose. If they skip to the last episode, they're gonna be like, well, who's this and who's that? So yeah, but it's great though. Just watch the last episode at least more than once. So
Yep.
That's the Ninja Gaara. Gaara himself. You got the Thunder Empress, Asher Snay.
Yeah.
She was special, man. I mean, you got the romance element, you got the combat element. One of the biggest battles in the entire 6 episodes was Asher Snay, and that battle lasted the entire episode. I mean,
Yeah, it was all about them that episode.
that was a decent episode. I mean, it's one of those episodes where you're watching, and next thing you know, it's over. And you're like, oh shit! You look at your clock, and you're like, oh fuck, you didn't know the passage of time. It's one of those epic duels where everything is on the line. I mean, their life, love, their entire existence, their lands, everything. It was really crazy. The
And
story.
they have a lot of history.
Oh yeah,
And it's
100
just-
years worth.
100 years of history, man. All romance. The other 2 lords did not get any development at all, especially one of the last ones who appears in the last episode. He ends up freezing one of the castles. And
Oh, Kalsu, yeah.
he didn't get much playtime at all.
Well,
And
they
then-
set it up like if they ever did a sequel, you knew he was going to have a lot of playtime in that, but unfortunately, they never did.
Right, and then the last episode had the last lord. I forget. I'm not sure.
Abigail.
Abigail.
Right,
Abigail, yeah.
He's this undead master where he'd summon the undead on you, and like legions of zombies just come at you endlessly. And when you're all tired is when he finishes you off. So he's one of those major sorcerers where he won't even lay a hand on you. He'll let all his peons do all the work.
He kind of like fights you from afar.
Right, definitely magician type fighter. But the 4 of them combined, I mean, they were a force to be reckoned with, and they all had their own stories with Dark Schneider because they all have a past with him. That's where the story element came in. I mean, Ash's name.